Hello and welcome to Museum Nights. It is great to be here on the second Thursday of the month, as we are every month. I am delighted to be here along with my colleagues and friends from the University of Florida, Mimi Stocker, my colleague in the Education Department at the Harn Museum of Art, and Lisa Booth from the Center for European Studies, are great partners for this evening and for many other museum nights in the past. I'm Eric Siegel. I'm Director of Education at the Harn Museum of Art, which you see in the background there. We are online, as you know, that was kind of obvious. Although museum nights in the past have been in person and they will be in person. So what you're seeing on your screen is a slideshow of some European works of art, because this is Passport to Europe Museum Night, as well as some photographs from our in-person museum nights in the past. We've been working with Lisa and her colleagues for many years and have asked Lisa to join us this evening to offer a welcome. Lisa, would you like to just take the stage for a moment? You're muted.
You know how many times I make that mistake a day? Thank you very much for inviting us and for collaborating with us on so many things and on so many occasions. And indeed, the collaborations when I call you at the last minute and I say, Eric, can we please do this? And we thank you for accommodating us. First up, I'd like to give a shout out to my colleague, our outreach coordinator, Carla Ruffer, who always manages to get people interested and excited about participating in these events, particularly our students. So thank you, Carla. And I hope that you all are looking forward to some great poetry tonight. So some of our students that take classes with us are going to be reading some Turkish poetry, some Polish poetry, and some Hungarian poetry. And I understand that there will be translations as well. So we're looking forward to that. And also thanks to the Greek Student Association for providing, once again, marvelous Greek dancing. And of course, the Ailigéadar's Irish dance troupe here that are our students. For those of you who do not know, the Center for European Studies at UF is a Title VI center, and we receive federal funding and also funding from the European Union to promote all things Europe. So if you're interested in any kind of events that are happening on campus, or if you have any ideas about European related events that you would like to see happen, please feel free to check out our website. That is www.ces.ufl.edu. We would love to hear from you. And I will just mention really briefly one event that we have coming up this Saturday. Any of you are interested, we will be at Cypress and Grove Brewery for a film screening, an outdoor CDC compliant and socially distanced film screening of The Commitments. And we're doing this kind of on the idea that St. Patrick's Day is coming up. So this is an Irish film about a fictional soul band set in late 1980s Dublin. The music is fantastic. And of course, Cypress and Grove is a wonderful, wonderful venue. So please feel free to join us. The event is free and open to the public. It starts at 7 and we would love to see you there. And with that, I will turn it back over to Eric and hope everyone has a very enjoyable time at this virtual museum nights.
Lisa, thanks so much. And thanks, of course, as you said, to Carla Ruffer, who's been fabulous to work with, and Dr. Amy Krappel, who has been a great supporter as well. We're so glad you could be here to kick us off, and I can see that already a lot of your European Studies students and friends are joining the evening, so it's great to be going. So we do have a lot going on. I want to note to everyone who's watching that we have a live chat in the YouTube stream, so we welcome you to be active in there. You'll see some Harn staff are there that can answer questions, and some of the talent will drop in as well. The poets may be able to drop in and be in the chat and answer your questions, or not the poets, but the individuals reading the poetry. And our art historians who are going to be talking about one of our works of art will also be available in the chat to answer your questions or just chat with you. So make good use of that to engage in this live event. Mimi, why are we doing a European theme museum night, and what else is going on tonight? Center for European Students are wonderful partners. We have great works in our collection. What else are we celebrating this month?
Well, at the Harn, we will be having a couple other events. We'll have Top Time on March. Oh, that one passed. I'm looking at the wrong program dates. What are we celebrating, Eric?
We're celebrating a lot of things. Yeah, those are old notes in our shared notes about the dates, but we do have family days and tot times coming up. Harn at home, there's always a lot going on our digital activities areas of the website. Go to harn.ufl.edu, hunt around, you'll find a lot of videos, interviews with artists. Harn at home has activities that you can do as an adult, as a college student, as a child, things that you can do with materials you probably have around the house or apartment. But it's also Women's History Month, so we're super excited about that. And we have our two art historians, Ava Bender and Ella McIver, are going to be talking about a woman artist, Berthe Morisot, in celebration of Women's History Month. And we're also doing an early kickoff for a safe St. Patrick's Day, which is coming up. So we do have, as Lisa Booth mentioned, the UF Irish dance group Ailigéadars. What else did we want to say before we invite our first guest? Let's see. I think that's about it. Really, we are once a month museum nights, so always come back and check us out for our live museum nights. And these events are recorded, so you can go back and view again anything that you're enjoying tonight. So as we've mentioned, we've got poetry, we have dance, we have insights from young art historians, and there's a lot going on. We have more than a dozen students in the program tonight, so it's really exciting to have new voices bringing creative spirit this evening. I will do the first introduction here. I'm going to bring Lara in. Sorry. Here we go. Give her a moment to get situated. Lara, welcome. How are you this evening?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm well. It's so great to have you. So Lara Soysal is a mouthful when you want to describe what she studies at UF. Let me just read, if I may. She's a UF Poli-Sci major and International Studies. And she also has minors in EU Studies and History. So keeping busy. And today you were going to read some verses from the Turkish national anthem in their original language and in English translation. And that is the theme of all the poetry we'll be doing tonight, is to be able to listen to poetry in its original language and experience the beauty of that, and then also have the insight and understanding we get from English translation. Lara, are you ready to take it away? I'm going to stop sharing the screen here.
Yes. All right. Well, hello, everyone. Like you said, I'm Lara. I'm a student at UF. And this year I've been studying under Dr. Emrah Şahin, advancing my grasp of the Turkish language. And this evening I chose to recite the first two stanzas of the Turkish national anthem for two main reasons. And the first being that it's special and that it was chosen by the Turkish National Assembly in 1921 after hundreds of entries from well-known career poets to be the official anthem for the Republic of Turkey. And second, that these 8 short lines, they came at a turning point in Turkish national history where people were finding their way out of the fallen Ottoman Empire, grappling with their religious and national identity, and facing the international arena during the War of Independence. So this poem is really a window into Turkish national history and an example of how inspiring words can be to unite a nation in dark times. So without further ado, this is İstiklal Marşı, or the Independence March, written by the poet Mehmet Ersoy. Korkma, sönmez bu şafaklarda yüzen al sancak. Sönmeden yurdumun üstünde tüten en son ocak. O benim milletim yıldızıdır parlayacak. O benimdir, o benim milletimindir ancak. Çatma, kurban olayım çehrine ey nazlı hilal. Kahraman ırkıma bir gül. Ne bu şiddet bu celal. Sana olmaz dökülen kanlarımız sonra helal. Hakkıdır. Hakka tapan milletimin istiklal. Fear not, for the crimson banner that proudly ripples in this glorious dawn shall not fade, before the last fiery hearth that is ablaze within my homeland is extinguished. For that is the star of my people, and it will forever shine. It is mine, and solely belongs to my valiant nation. Frown not, I beseech you. O thou coy crescent, smile upon my heroic nation. Why the anger? Why the rage? Our blood which we shed for you shall not be worthy otherwise. For freedom is the absolute right of my God-worshipping nation. Thank you.
Thank you. That was really stirring and so wonderful to hear in Turkish. Really amazing. Thank you for opening our ears and our minds. If you're able to, it would be lovely to have you drop into our YouTube chat. And if anyone has any questions or comments, they can share them with you there. But I'm so grateful to you for joining us tonight. Already seen a comment from Lisa that was great. So thanks so much, Lara.
Thank you guys for having me.
Oh, it's such a pleasure. We'll see you at future museum nights. Cool. Alrighty. So Ava Bender and Ella McIver are live in person in the chat, but we pre-recorded our conversation with them about Berthe Morisot's Le Repos, an etching, so that we could be in the museum together. The museum's closed at this hour, and be there with the work of art. So I'm going to play that video for you now, and you're welcome to chat along with Ava and Ella as we go. So let's share screen.
Hi everyone, I'm Ella. I'm a second year student studying English and art history.
And I'm Ava Bender, and I'm also a second year art history major, also studying anthropology.
And today we're going to be talking about Berthe Morisot, who is a famous female impressionist.
Yes, so here today we have Les Repos by Berthe Morisot from the later half of the 1800s.
Yes, and to give a bit of a background on Impressionism as a whole, it all came out of a process called Haussmannization, whereby the Parisian streets were redeveloped with wider avenues, promenades, and everything like that. And with that came the rise of the flaneur.
Right. There was a lot of gentrification happening, which led to the displacement of many of the people from central Paris. And there was a rise of the upper bourgeois middle class. They had a lot of leisure time, and so many of these painters came from this class and depicted moments of that modern life.
Yes, they would wander throughout the streets, kind of see what was happening, record all their impressions, then go back to the studios and translate them onto a canvas. The one thing to note about these flaneurs is that it was implicitly gendered, raced, and classed, and that they were typically upper-class, white, male, bourgeois men.
A lot of Impressionists also painted en plein air, so in front of their subjects and doing live works. They captured natural lighting and had a looser brush stroke.
Yes, absolutely. But in relationship to that, we also have the fact that female Impressionists were not allowed the same access that male Impressionist painters were.
Yeah, many of them were restricted to the private spheres in indoor settings. Their paintings often depicted family, friends, mostly women subjects, since they weren't allowed into the streets like men were, and they weren't allowed to capture scenes like the café concert or of prostitutes like male Impressionists did.
Yes, and that brings us back to Morisot, who was one of these women Impressionists. Morisot came from a more middle upper class bourgeois family, and she had an academic training initially. She participated in lessons with her two sisters and did exhibit at the Salon until the point at which she decided to leave that and begin to exhibit with the Impressionists.
Right, she was good friends with Manet and many male Impressionists, and so she was actually one of the first and only women to show in the very first Impressionist exhibition, and she showed her work in almost every exhibition after that.
Yes, and Morisot's normal subject matter gave us insight to the domestic spheres of women during this time, which brings us to Les Repos.
Right. This scene here shows an intimate moment between Morisot and her daughter Julie in an interior space. Her daughter is reclining on a couch.
And it's interesting to note that this particular artwork might be in dialogue with a Manet painting titled Les Repos, which is of Morisot.
Right, and that work was also of Morisot in a reclining position similar to this, except her pose in that work was more of a
It looked a bit more staged.
Yeah,
Yes.
she looked more uncomfortable. It was a more stiff position, and she was in the latest fashions. And
Very cinched in waist,
Right.
very kind of restrictive almost.
accentuated her figure.
It doesn't look particularly comfortable.
Whereas this etching looks much more comfortable.
Yes, absolutely, I agree. In this one, she's reclining with her hand behind her head, and she's got kind of a almost bored, very introspective perception.
Right. Her hair is flowing down her shoulders. Her chin is in a relaxed position, not accentuated. Morisot would have done this as a dry point etching, and so that she could have only used line to create this.
Yes, and that's actually really interesting because with a closer look, you can see how the different strokes almost have a different texture to them. Some are darker, some are lighter. Of particular interest is Julie's hair and how you can kind of see it move from the darker in the roots to a more lighter, flowy depiction.
Exactly, and she would have achieved that by using pressure to make the darker areas fill in more with the ink as it was pressed into this form.
Yes, and even though most of Morisot's works that we know today are paintings, you can see elements of her more sketchy, sketch-like aesthetic in this particular etching.
Right, her etching strokes are very painterly, which is seen in her colorful paintings as well as here in this etching.
Yes, they're very painterly, they're quite delicate. It definitely gives us kind of like an intimacy to the scene between a woman and her daughter.
Yeah, we chose this work because it's International Women's Month, and we wanted to choose an impressionist, unlike Monet, who everyone knows and is a male, someone who's less known and who was an influential woman artist of her time who was really successful as well.
Yes, even Morisot was very involved in the art market. She was very kind of in tune with what was going on, and the dealer that she worked with was called Durand Ruel, and she had a very close relationship with him in sort of understanding the trends of the art market and how she might cater to them and respond.
Yeah, exactly. Her husband was Edouard Manet's younger brother, who was actually a failed artist, whereas Morisot was really successful and played to the art market and expressed herself and was able to make a living off of that. In this etching, Morisot captures her daughter in an intimate moment where there's a familiarity between the subject and the painter. And you can see that by the relaxed pose and non-sexualized depiction of a relaxing woman, whereas male painters like the flaneurs often depicted strangers.
Yes, they did. There was often unfamiliar scenes of just people that they witnessed on the streets without any real glimpse into their lives, whereas again, as Ava was discussing, this is more intimate. You can really see that connection between the artist and the subject.
Right. And this particular work was actually part of a book that Morisot, after her death, her works were published in alongside other impressionists like Degas and Manet.
Yes, this etching was created in 1887, less than 10 years before Morisot's death, and it was later published in the book titled Manet and the Impressionists in 1910. And actually, in looking at this book, we can see that there is a full chapter on Morisot, which really pays testimony to her position within the Impressionist world at the time.
Right, she was super influential to future generations of female artists, even some of her contemporaries like Marie Cassatt. And her works were feminized the Impressionist movement and showed what life was like for women during this time of modernism, not just men. Charles Baudelaire described the flaneur as a passionate spectator, But Morisot didn't have access to the streets to be a passionate spectator of the modern life that most people experienced. Instead, she was a spectator of what her friends, family, and other women participated in.
In this discussion, it's been an absolute honor to see one of Morisot's artworks so up close and personal. It's the first opportunity I've had to do so it's definitely very interesting to sort of get a close-up look and to see how much skill she put into making the etching, portraying the relationship. Everything about it is just amazing.
Exactly, I feel the same. And we've been reading about Morisot and learning about her in our art history classes. And so it's really interesting now to be able to look at her practice and see how she worked in person.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us in this conversation.
Thank you.
Hey, Mimi, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, thank you so much to Ava and Ella. So I would like to introduce our first dance group of the night. We will be having 2 dances tonight, which is really exciting. We have been really lucky to partner with Ailigéadar UF Irish Dance Company for many years. And we're continuing our collaboration virtually. We're really excited to have dance tonight and get to work with Ailigéadar again. So I'm going to introduce President Stephanie Kokeas, who's a UF criminology major, and she is going to introduce tonight's dancers. So Stephanie, if you're ready.
Yeah, thank you so much. So as she just said, my name is Stephanie Kokeas. I'm the president of Ailigéadar Irish Dance. I am a 3rd-year criminology student at the University of Florida, and here are some of our members. Hello, my name is Kayla Herman, and I'm a freshman in agricultural engineering.
Hi, my name is Lacey San Antonio, and I am getting my master's in English education.
Hi, my name is Carolyn Muldowney. I'm a 3rd-year architecture student, and I'm also the vice president of Ailigéadar Irish Dance.
I don't think we quite heard. Was that Kayla who introduced herself second?
Yeah, that's Kayla.
Hi, Kayla.
Hi.
All right, so we're gonna get started for you guys.
Sounds good.
All right, thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Thank you. That was really great.
Thank you. Have a great night.
You too.
That was wonderful. Thank you. So many people in the chat have mentioned how much they've enjoyed it and the amazing footwork, amazing moves, someone said. Oh, mesmerizing footwork. So even though you're in the dark and outdoors and might be a little cold, we were really able to enjoy the dance. And I love the live dance where it has that sense of immediacy. So thanks for bringing that to museum nights.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having us. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. Alrighty, so we are back to poetry again. So we've got more dance ahead, more poetry ahead, and right now I'm going to bring in two of our next poets, or readers. Give them a moment to get settled in. Or readers. Hi, Anna. Hi, Isabel. Thank you so much for being here this evening for Museum Nights. We're delighted to have you. All good? Great. So we're joined by Anna Wojnar, who is a UF Chemical Engineering major, and also by Isabela Sewiol, a UF Health Science major. And they're going to read for us some poetry in Polish and then give us the English translation so we can both enjoy the language and understand the poetry itself. So Anna, I think you can go first if you'd like to tell us about your poem and then read it to us. Thanks.
Okay, hi. As Eric mentioned, my name is Anna Wojnar, and I chose the poem on a warm blue meadow because it reminded me of my grandparents in Poland, they have a meadow behind their house, and I just have so many memories of when I was a kid of going to this meadow, and it was always like full of flowers and a bunch of different animals. So yeah, the poem just kind of reminded me of my family and a bunch of different memories from Poland. Okay, so the poem Na ciepłej niebieskiej łące, on a Warm Blue Meadow by Maria Pawlikowska Jasnorzewska. Na ciepłej niebieskiej łące pasą się białe zające, pasą się białe baranki, kwitnące złotem poranki. Niebieskie łąki bez granic nie służą nikomu na nic. Są dla tych białych zajęcy, są dla tych białych baranków i dla skrzydlatych tysięcy myśli radosnych kochanków. So now in English, on a warm blue meadow, where white rabbits graze, where white lambs graze on golden mornings. Blue boundless meadows, no purpose there, except for those rabbits and for those lambs and for thought-winged dreams of joyful lovers.
That was lovely, and it really took me outside. I have to admit that today I went outside under a blue sky, not a warm meadow, and I thought it's so good not to be in front of a computer. So I know we're all in front of computers right now, and we've spent a lot of time, and this is really rewarding to be here, but that image you shared with us was just so refreshing. Thank you. Isabel.
Hi. So yes, my name is Isabel Sewiol. The poem that I chose is a bit similar. It's called Invokacja, also known as Invocation, and it's written by Adam Mickiewicz. So this is the Polish version. Panno Święta, co jasnej bronisz Częstochowy i w ostrej świecisz bramie. Ty, co gród zamkowy nowogródzki ochraniasz z jego wiernym ludem. Jak mnie dziecko do zdrowia powróciłaś cudem, gdy od płaczącej matki pod twoją opiekę ofiarowany, martwą podniosłem powiekę i zaraz mogłem pieszo do twych świątyń progu iść, zawrócone życie podziękować Bogu. Tak nas powrócisz cudem na ojczyzny łono. Tymczasem przenoś moją duszę utęsknioną do tych pagórków leśnych, do tych łąk zielonych, szeroko nad błękitnym niemnem rozciągnionych, do tych pól malowanych zbożem rozmaitym, wyzłacanych pszenicą, posrebrzanych żytem. And now the English version. Holy Virgin, who shelters our bright Częstochowa and shines in the gate of dawn, you, who yet watch over the castled Nowogródek's folk, faithful and mild. As you once had returned me to health, a sick child, when by my weeping mother into your care given, I, by miracle opened a dead eye to heaven, and to your temple's threshold could straightway falter, for life thus returned to thank God at the altar. Thus, to motherland's breast you will bring us again. Meanwhile, bear my soul heavy with yearning's dull pain to those soft woodland hillocks, those meadows, green, gleaming, spread wide along each side of the blue flowing Niemen, to those fields which by various grain painted there lie, shimmering with wheat gilded and silvered with rye.
Thank you so much. What a powerful poem, joining natural imagery, religion, of course, patriotism. Really two wonderful poems. Thank you for sharing them both in Polish. It's so wonderful for me to hear the language and for all of us. And then, of course, the translation. There's some wonderful chats already about Anna's poem. So I'd encourage you to drop into the YouTube chat after we say goodbye and say hello. Something about a white rabbit you've got to chase down. And I'm really grateful that you're able to join us this evening. We hope to see you in person in a museum night in future months. And thank you so much for being here. We have one more poet joining us now before we move on to dance. So Virag, I'm going to bring in Virag. Here we go. Hello, Virag.
Hello, how are you?
How are you?
Good.
Thank you for joining us again. So we've heard Turkish, we've heard Polish, and now we're going to hear Hungarian with Virag Feher, a UF history student. Thank you so much for being here. I'll let you introduce your poem and let us listen. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So this poem is called Nemzeti Dal. It was recited to encourage Hungarians to revolt against the Habsburg Empire on March 15th, 1848. And March 15th is Hungary's national holiday because of this. And that's on Monday, so that's why I chose this poem. So enjoy. It's Nemzeti Dal. Talpra magyar, hia haza, itt az idő, most vagy soha. Rabok legyünk, vagy szabadok? Ez a kérdés, válasszatok. A magyarok istenére esküszünk, hogy rabok tovább nem leszünk. Rabok voltunk mostanáig, kárhozottak ősapáink, kik szabadon éltek, haltak, szolgaföldben nem nyughatnak. A magyarok istenére esküszünk, hogy rabok tovább nem leszünk. Sehonnai bitang ember, ki most, ha kell, halni nem mer, kinek drágább rongy élete, mint a haza becsülete. A magyarok istenére esküszünk, hogy rabok tovább nem leszünk. Fényesebb a láncnál a kard, jobban ékesíti a kart, és mi mégis láncot hordunk, ide veled, régi kardunk. A magyarok istenére esküszünk, hogy rabok tovább nem leszünk. A magyar név megint szép lesz, méltó régi nagy híréhez. Mit rákentek a századok, lemossuk a gyalázatot. A magyarok istenére esküszünk, hogy rabok tovább nem leszünk. Hol sírjaink domborulnak, unokáink leborulnak, és áldó imádság mellett mondják el szent neveinket. A magyarok istenére esküszünk, hogy rabok tovább nem leszünk. Now I will recite the poem in English. It's called Rise Up Hungarians. Rise up Hungarians, the country calls. It's now or never, what fate befalls. Shall we live as slaves or free men? That's the question, choose your amen. God of Hungarians, we swear unto thee, we swear unto thee, that slaves we shall no longer be. For up till now we lived like slaves, damned lie our forefathers in their graves. They who lived and died in freedom cannot rest in dust of thraldom. God of Hungarians, we swear unto thee, that slaves we shall no longer be. A coward and a lowly bastard is he who dares not raise the standard, he whose wretched life is dearer than the country's sacred honor. God of Hungarians, we swear unto thee, that slaves we shall no longer be. Sabres outshine chains and fetters, is the sword that one's arm betters. Yet we wear grim chains and shackles, swords slash through the damned manacles. God of Hungarians, we swear unto thee, that slaves we shall no longer be. Hungary's name will tell the story, worthy of our erstwhile glory. We must scrub off, fiercely cleansing, centuries of shame condensing. God of Hungarians, we swear unto thee, that slaves we shall no longer be. Where our grave mounds bulge in grey earth, grandsons kneel and say their prayers, while in blessing words they mention, all our sainted names ascension. God of Hungarians, we swear unto thee, that slaves we shall no longer be. That was the poem. Thank you for listening.
Really stirring and powerful and passionate and filled with a sense of history. And thank you so much for sharing it with us on the eve of the memorial of the Hungarian Revolution on Monday, as you said. This has truly been a passport to Europe. That's our theme tonight. So we've been to Hungary and to Poland and to Turkey and to France. Thank you for being part of it. And I'm going to ask Mimi to join us, and she'll introduce our next student talent who are going to share some more dance with us. Bye-bye, Virag.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, thank you.
A pleasure.
All right, so now we have our second dance group. we will be joined by the UF Greek American Student Association, who we've had the pleasure of working with in the past in person. So really great that we could come together via Zoom to dance. I will be introducing Paul Calzada, who is going to introduce the other dancers and tell us a little bit more about their performance. Hi, Paul.
Hi, everybody. As Mimi mentioned, my name is Paul Calzada, and I'm the GASA dance director for this year's GASA dancers. And we're very excited to perform dances for you all. Many of us have been dancing all our lives, and we love the culture. We love expressing ourselves, and we're really. So we're going to be doing dances from all over Greece, particularly though the islands Crete and the island of Kos. So we're very excited. This is new content we've been working on, and yeah, we're very excited. So I would like to introduce the dancers to you. So from this side to this side, we'll start with Zach Skundradakis. He's right here. And then next we have Stamatina Kopoulos. And then we have Yana Beckman, Leonidas Lavdis, Christina Samitsis, Melina Hayward, Evangelia Gavrilos, and Clyde Emil Ellis. And so we're very excited, like I said, to perform for you. And yeah, without further ado, I guess we'll check the audio. Or does that sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay. Let's go. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. We had a blast. Thank you.
It looked like
Thank you, Paul. Such energy and passion. Loved it. It was great.
Thank you. Thank you. Well,
Good night.
good night.
Thank you, everyone. That is our program this evening. It has been an amazing passport tour through Europe, hasn't it, Mimi?
Yes.
And as we sign off, let's just share a little bit of some information about things going on at the museum. Of course, what we did this evening. But let's see. Coming up, we have talk time. In fact, I want to share this screen showing our current talk time. As Mimi mentioned earlier, it's Women's History Month, and this talk time for March celebrates women's history with a great activity you can do at home for kids, for adults, for students. And there's many more activities on the website to explore. March 15th is not only, as we learned from Virag, the Hungarian Memorial Day of the 1848 Revolution, it's also very different kind of note, the day our summer internship applications are due. So if you're considering a Harn internship, check out our website. Well, I don't have it up here, but it's Harn Museum of Art, www.harn.ufl.edu/intern. Lots of information there. We'd love to see you at the museum. The Harn is open Tuesday through Sunday. We've got lots of exhibits on view. You can just go to our website anytime and see what the current exhibits are. I'm just scrolling them on the screen so you can have a quick look, including Breaking the Frame, Women Artists in the Harn Collection. Mimi, are there other things we want to point out as we sign off this evening?
Yes. You can also check out our first virtual tour on our website. It's for elementary, middle school age range, but anyone can enjoy it. It is the natural world reflected in art, so definitely check it out. And next month, Museum Nights is Printpalooza. So all about printmaking. Really exciting. We love printmaking at the Harn. So definitely tune in next month. And thank you for joining us.
That sounds great. Thank you, Mimi, for being part of this evening, and to all of our guests, and to the Center for European Studies that were such great partners. Good night, everybody.
Good night.